Welcome to Know Your Money, where we will explore our relationship with money and how the psychology of it impacts our financial decisions, as everyone thinks about money differently. In our podcast, we'll be presenting a variety of financial topics in an easy-to-understand way, which we hope will assist you with managing your money. Welcome to Know Your Money. In today's episode, we want to explain what a living annuity is. There are lots of terms that people hear and don't really understand. So please, if ever there is something and you want us to explain it, just send it through to us and we'll happily do so. So, Craig, over to you. What is a living annuity?
Morning, Brian. Morning, Warren. Nice to see you guys.
Good morning, Craig.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, where are your manners, Bronwyn? Yeah.
A living annuity is when your retirement annuity, all these terms are so similar, but your retirement annuity or your RA, as people refer to it, you're paying, hopefully from the age of 20 until you're 65, compounding interest and enjoying all the fruits of the tax-free benefits of a retirement annuity and RA. When that matures and you're ready to receive a pension, 2/3 of it or the whole amount, you have to buy an annuity or a pension. Most people opt for a living annuity. You do get something called a life annuity that we might chat in a different episode. But the living annuity, the proceeds of your retirement annuity goes into a living annuity, and then you choose a pension payout every month. And depending on what your needs are, but the capital that is in that living annuity, you can choose between 2.5% and 17.5% as a monthly drawdown. Now, if you draw 17.5%, I mean, that's going to mean that living annuity not going to last very long, probably about 5 or 6 years. So if you could draw 4% of the capital, there's over a 94% chance that living annuity's capital will never drop if you're in a balanced type of portfolio. So the ideal is to draw as little as you possibly can, but of course it depends on how long you're investing for the end result. And in the previous episode we spoke about beneficiaries. What happens if I die? My money's in my pension. What about my children? What about my wife? What about my husband? The money in a living annuity, whatever you write as your beneficiary, the beneficiary is a person who's going to receive that money, will receive that money. And you can have a multiple of beneficiaries. You don't have to have one beneficiary.
And also just on that, if you haven't put your disallowed contributions into the living annuity pot, then it is free of estate duty, a living annuity. But if there are disallowed contributions in there, which we can explain in another episode, then a portion of it may pay estate duty. Yeah, you see, we got off the hearty, easy stuff.
No, but it's interesting. Okay, so I now know what a living annuity is, which is handy. And, it just gets very complicated. All this, retirement sounds harder than it should be.
Yeah.
It is if you don't have a proper plan. But now when you're with a financial planner, they are going to work in your living annuity with a drawdown percentage of around 4%. So they will tell you if you need 20,000 Rand a month, for example, that would mean you need X amount in savings. So we're only drawing 4% from that savings.
Yeah, I get that. But and is the idea that even when it's your fund is being managed, the annuity fund is being managed, it still technically grows?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So that's why you can have a 4% drawdown and not affect the total capital.
Correct.
Yes.
That's right.
Potentially, yes.
Because you're drawing down and also you've got to cater for inflation as well. That's important.
Okay.
And then also to know you do get taxed. So what you take
on
out.
The annuity.
Yes, on the monthly annuity, yeah.
What?
And you can take it quarterly or yearly, but you rather want to carry on.
The retirement annuity that you've been paying your whole time, was that taxed?
No, so the money inside the retirement annuity,
the growth
of that money, there's no tax.
But the income it came from was taxed.
Yeah, so your salary.
But you do get your tax deduction.
And then you get a deduction for it.
Okay.
Then the money in the retirement annuity grows without attracting any tax.
Okay.
Then when you buy your living annuity, then your living annuity growth in the living annuity, there's no tax either. But yes, when you
the capital gains tax is not there.
Doesn't happen.
Yes.
But when you're receiving the the pension, it's like receiving a salary.
Understood.
You get paid.
Okay,
you
that
pay
makes
tax
sense.
on
I
that.
thought we were just taxed to the high heavens there.
Yeah.
No.
So you can get a living annuity paid out before you retire. And what I mean by that is you could have a parent or an uncle or somebody pass away, and you are way before you're 55 years old, and you get the opportunity of receiving this living annuity. You can get it as a lump sum payout, but you will pay tax. Or you could say, you know what, I'll leave Uncle Fortunately's money in that living annuity, and I'll receive that money every single month. So you could have a living annuity at 30 years old.
Yes,
How-
and then
how
you
lo-
can change that drawdown.
Is
Yeah.
there an expiration on a living annuity then? So the contract length, or how does it work? So let's say the person dies and leaves the beneficiary as their spouse, and their spouse lives for another 30 years. Will they
So
get
not
that?
on a living annuity. A life annuity is a different thing, but a living annuity, no.
So living annuity will last as long as the money lasts.
So
Right.
depending on how much you
That's
draw.
why the 4% drawdown is important. Rather draw less, so you can make sure that the capital will be there forever.
And also the portfolio. So that's where your advisor should advise what portfolio you're in to ensure
Yeah,
that
but that's
does
really
last.
interesting though. So that's, okay. I thought there'd be like so with a life annuity you'd have an end date. So to
Yes.
speak. Okay, all right.
Yes. And that's normally death. No,
Re-
but it can be another. We'll
Yeah.
talk about life annuities, but yeah.
Oh, so many guys.
Cool. I think that's a wrap. So yeah. This episode take home is understand a living annuity.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys.
Yes,
Thank you,
Have
Craig.
a
Thank you,
good.
Bronwyn.
Thanks. Bye.
I'm
Bye.
learning.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this podcast, would like to subscribe, please visit our website www.growthfp.co.za. The information we have provided in this podcast is our personal opinion. For more detailed information, please discuss your financial situation with a financial planner.